So this is the 12:50 edition, 12:50 hours GMT on Sunday, 7th of May, 2023 edition of the Khoodeelaar television channel being broadcast on the internet under the banner BabyAngelGeronimo editions. This is the second part, substantial part of the day. As we have stated, we are having technical issues in terms of getting the broadcasting platform stabilized, and this will hopefully be resolved in a matter of weeks, if not a matter of days. And we are confident that we can produce a more stable and reliable platform. In the meantime, going back to the essay that we have started on the corrupt series of events that have been taking place in the United Kingdom under the excuse of King Brian being coronated. The contrast between the hundreds of millions of pounds being spent, wasted in this coronation, and the absolute abject poverty that the people of Moldova, for example, are experiencing, and people of other countries in Eastern Europe, is staggering. This is something that is being allowed to take place without any ethical intervention by any ethical forum worldwide. And most certainly, there is no ethical forum in the United Kingdom. The very severe hostile treatment by the London Metropolitan Police of the tiny campaign called the Republic or the Republic is typical of the institutional and individual corruption, unconstitutionality, and badness that are allowed to be the norms for what is tolerated as remnants of society in Britain. Where do we begin? The most prestigious, within quotation marks, newspaper in the United Kingdom is, of course, the Sunday Times. No matter whether it's owned by the dirty digger, Rupert Murdoch, who also owns Fox News, etc., over in the USA. And the Sunday Times, today, Sunday, the 7th of May, 2023, the day after King Brian was fated in the way that it has been reported. The main space in the London Sunday Times is obscenely given to an over the top exhibition of the activities and the derision, the contempt with which the Republic protesters are treated is only again applied against Harry Windsor. It seems that Harry Windsor has become an amalgam of all kinds of bad things that these courtiers, these promoters, think King Brian needs protection from. There is no doubt that Harry is Diana's son. And Harry is the one that has expressed the most intense and the most public emotion, concern about the way his mother was hounded by the British press. Even if his elder brother, William, may be aware or may be thinking of the same things about their mother that Harry has been thinking and expressly sharing with the world. But it is Harry who has been sharing his thoughts and his pain about the way his mother was treated. And the pain has become very personal. Well, in fact, it has become personal at every point in the broken family that he has described. Now, we don't carry this campaign, and we don't carry any brief for Harry Windsor or anybody. Everything we say is based on publicly published, accessible, and identifiably sourced information. Going by all of those publicly published, identifiable, sourced information, it is very clear that the way that Harry Windsor has been treated by King Brian diminishes all claims by Brian that suggest that he is for inclusivity, for tolerance, compassion, and all the rest of it. To reduce Harry Windsor to the level that he has been reduced to under this ceremony yesterday, Saturday, 6th of May 2023, shows that King Brian is unfit to make the claims that he either himself has been making or he has been allegedly attributed to have been making. He may be king in name, but the discord, the disharmony that he has added yesterday by exiling Harry Windsor out of the main group of people in the main platforms will come back to haunt King Brian. And it will come back to haunt King Brian not because he is the source of wisdom, but because he is not. He may be called king, but what kind of king is he? If he starts his coronation by exiling his son out of the main crowd of the royal family, what 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 is it that he has to show for fitness? There may be all kinds of issues between Williams and Harry about the various issues within the family. But there is no issue, no disagreements between the two brothers, the two siblings, about the fact that they didn't want Camilla to be married to Charles. They told him so. So Charles may be dividing Williams and Harry, but that division can never hide the rejection by both brothers, both siblings, of this relationship with Camilla. Clearly, Camilla has kind of collected a series of courtiers to promote her own vested interests within the monarchy. But what needs to be understood is that no matter what the scams may be, what the excuses may be, when Harry Windsor speaks, many of the promoters of Brian and supporters of Camilla may want to disagree with him, but the wide world outside is not situated in the USA. They misunderstand. They think that the USA is an exclusive territory, which is where Harry's and Meghan's comments and positions are assessed, and that nobody else knows about them, nowhere else in the whole of the world. Well, that is wrong. Because of empire, because of the history, her story of the UK as the colonialist entity for hundreds of years, what happens to the so called British royal family is still, how shall I say, relevant copy, as they say in the media. And the copy sells, regardless of the contents of the copy. For example, in the papers in Fleet Street today, or those parts of the papers that are very loyal, blindly loyal to King Brian, they are saying that Harry cannot publish a sequel to his book Spare. They're saying that he can't do a Spare too. How wrong can they be? Because unlike the American woman Wallis Simpson, unlike the American woman Wallis Simpson, Meghan Markle is not a novice in public affairs. Meghan Markle was an established professional actor before she met and married Harry Windsor. She is a personality, a name in her own rights. And the various initiatives that they have been kind of becoming parties to, good causes, etc., are they're building for themselves. And every time there is an additional point of credibility for Harry and Meghan, there is a deficit being added in the ledger against Brian, King Brian. So, what King Brian should have done yesterday, he should have given Harry Windsor equal and dignified space. It lasted only a very short time, but it would have made all the difference. Instead, the widely condemned and believed rapist, Andrew, King Brian's brother, was given more regal recognition by King Brian and his crew. He is widely believed in the world, and nothing will change Andrew from being a rapist, no matter what. And here was Andrew being given a regal status by King Brian, whereas Harry, for speaking out about the broken family, was reduced to the appalling level that he was reduced to. And then those individuals, such as the Sunday Times' Camilla Long, who are earnest to impress King Brian and his so called Queen Camilla with their allegiance. These people are overly adhering their allegiance, expressing their allegiance to this King Brian and his new queen. They will be completely dismissed by the world public opinion. The world public opinion will condemn King Brian and his courtiers as petty minded, backward, and of course racist. And it is unbelievable that King Brian, despite that, I have been observing King Brian from the 1960s. Well, he's not far different in chronological age from me. So therefore, I have been coexisting with him, and I have observed the main issues that he has featured in. Now, objectively speaking, Brian has had bad advice. I mean, he has got entangled too many times in too many Arab money related scandals. Think about that. And here was the Anglican Church's British kind of leader, the Archbishop of Canterbury, idiotically issuing a stupid advice for the public to express their allegiance to Charles. Whatever for? Whatever the fuck for? Charles is not, never has been, a moral icon or example, ever. And it could not be. So, what the fuck was this Archbishop of Canterbury on about? That shows the dysfunction and unfitness for purpose on the part of this Archbishop of Canterbury. So, you've got an unfit for purpose head of the church, and you've got unfit for purpose head of the monarchy. And then he has got the completely corrupt, sucker up to infinity, one of the Dimbos, Jonathan Dimbo. Jonathan Dimbo has to come to the aid of King Brian and to say that he is a friend of Brian's, and as a friend, he knows Brian, and he knows that to him, Brian, that is, anyone being asked to pay allegiance to him would be repugnant. How the fuck? Why has it taken 10 days for Jonathan Dimbo to come out with this stupid, incredible excuse? Which means that King Brian is like Boris Johnson, detached from his mind and body. His mind and body are detached. Before the Archbishop issued the stupid advice, the Archbishop must have consulted Brian. And if King Brian's body and mind were not detached, he would have put an end to that. And he would have told the Archbishop of Canterbury, stop it. But he didn't. Now, to any student of the behavior of the, let's say, monarchy, since Brian became its fronter, it is clear that in comparison with his late mother, Brenda, King Brian is already exceeding the list of bad things that he should not be involved in as far as publicly accessible events. His eviction notice saying that immediately after his, or as soon after as possible after his coronation, Meghan and Harry should leave Frogmore Cottage. I mean, he's evicting Harry and Meghan. Eviction in the world, in the societies and languages, currently contemporary world, evicting someone by anyone constitutes one of the foulest acts of uncivilized behavior, intolerance, nastiness, cruelty. I mean, is there an end to the list of nasty things that Brian is involved in? For example, here is this thing being kind of published by The Guardian. Now, here is this thing 2 days ago. The, the news agency AP News ran this copy. It says King's coronation draws apathy, criticism in former colonies. And it's a copy byline to Sylvia Hui, John Myers Jr., and Krutina Patti, 2023. That's Friday, the 5th of May. And the news agency AP, filing from London, Dateline London, says when King Charles III or III is crowned on Saturday, soldiers carrying flags from the Bahamas, South Africa, Tuvalu, and beyond will march alongside British troops in a spectacular military procession in honor of the monarch. For some, the scene will affirm the ties that bind Britain and its former colonies. But for many others in the Commonwealth, a group of nations mostly made up of places once claimed by the British Empire, Charles's coronation is seen with apathy at best. In those countries, the first crowning of a British monarch in 70 years is an occasion to reflect on oppression and colonialism bloody past. The displays of pageantry in London will jar, especially with growing calls in the Caribbean to sever all ties with the monarchy. Interest in British royalty has waned since more Jamaicans are waking to the reality that the survivors of colonialism and the Holocaust of slavery are yet to receive reparatory justice. The Reverend Sean Major Campbell, an Anglican priest in the Jamaican capital, Kingston, said. So, according to that, the Archbishop of Canterbury was speaking in his sleep because he didn't know that far from his alleged allegiance call, his clerical colleague in Jamaica has completely denounced the monarchy itself. The coronation is only relevant insofar as it kicks us in the face with the reality that our head of state is simply so by virtue of biology, Major Campbell added. As British sovereign, Charles is also head of state of 14 other countries, though the role is largely ceremonial. These realms, which include Australia, Canada, Jamaica, Papua New Guinea, and New Zealand, represent a minority of the Commonwealth nations. Most of the 56 members are republics, even if some still sport the Union Jack on their flags. Barbados was the most recent Commonwealth country to remove the British monarch as its head of state, replacing Charles's mother, Queen Elizabeth II or II, with an elected president in 2021. The decision spurred similar Republican movements in neighboring Jamaica, the Bahamas, and Belize, etc., etc. Now, going back to the comparison between the severe poverty being experienced by the people of Moldova, it can be said, and I'm going to say it, with the money that they have wasted over this so called coronation yesterday, or around the coronation of yesterday, because so many things are still going on, costing millions of pounds. The people of Moldova could have been given enough to live in contentment for 20 years, because it's only 2 million people in Moldova. And going back to the question of the Financial Times running this lunch with the Financial Times with Maia Sandhu, the president of Moldova, that is a one off. The entirety of the British press, that is absolutely full of cretinous stupidity and praise for Brian today. There is no realization of the existence of the world, not only of Moldova, but the existence of the whole rest of the world. We shall be talking about all of these issues in essay form, and I'm going to finish this particular edition 32 minutes 44 seconds at 13:18 hours GMT on Sunday, the 7th of May 2023.